a single for Shakib. He moves on to 8 from the 12 balls that he's faced, so he hasn't been able to get going at a fast lick here. Tamim 21 off 29 at the end of the 11th over, 54 for
over. It may be a day where I think we'll Latham's left, in other words, down the pitch too far, and it wasn't quite the length to bowl and to throw into as well. So there was a run saved, but half a chance of a run out.
And I tell you what, risky going towards, because Bolt, of course, running to his left.
And he's a
left-hander. Strong arm.
Yep.
So always an extra risk when you know that that's the case. We've got to be aware of what fielders are in which position. Ferguson in, into the ground defensively at the other end. Shakib was backing up, but quickly scurries back to make his ground as Ferguson fields off his own bowling. I like Lockie Ferguson, Jeremy. I like someone who has that extra bit of pace.
I'm glad you qualified that, but that's okay. Yeah, in the black boots. Do you like the black boots?
The black boots are a little bit menacing, aren't they?
There's plenty of sort of vitriol coming from the feet.
And I can't quite see from here, but I'm presuming he's still got the moustache as well.
Oh yeah,
which seems to be a New Zealand thing at the moment, because if you are sporting a moustache as well,
mine is bristling with enthusiasm today.
So Lockie Ferguson's, here he comes, in now to Tamim, up to the stumps, bowls, and he hasn't timed it well. Ferguson has, I think he might have got a hand to it actually, to take some pace off it, he did. Single taken, backed up as well by mid-on, so good bit of teamwork, but he didn't strike it cleanly. 56 for 1 in the 12th.
Hard to save those really in your follow through, very difficult. It catches, caught and bowls. Once you've delivered the ball, the head's not quite up and the balance isn't there as a bowler. And so, you know, reaction catches are very difficult. That wasn't a catch, but tucked along the ground at some speed. He got a half a hand at it.
Shakib, he's batting on a leg stump guard here. Has a bit of room, angles it and fielded at, say, backward point, but standing a few metres in from the edge of the circle.
Now 1 ball to go, just 2 off the over. Finish off well, Ferguson, for your side. Important that New Zealand do build up some pressure here. Otherwise, they're going to find later on in this innings, Mahmudullah, people like that, hovering around about number 6 in this order. He's already scored runs here in the first game. So they'll punish you.
Ferguson under cloudy skies at the oval bouncer. Is it going to be wide? I think it's okay. Past just above the shoulder rather than above the head. And it just had Shakib dipping to allow that ball to fizz through to the wicketkeeper. So we've had 12 overs then. It was a good end to the over, 56 for 1 with Shakib on 9 and Tamim on 22. Jeremy Coney, going to leave you to offer a few more thoughts on the status of the match so far. And then it's going to be Dan Norcross coming in.
Well, 20 runs from the last 5 overs. delivered by the New Zealand bowlers. We've seen 3 in operation at the moment. Henry was better than he was. He didn't pick up the wickets in this game, but his line was a lot better to the left-handers that he's had to confront today, generally across the bows of the left-handers. Yeah, tucked away a couple of times leg side, but not so many as he was in Cardiff, so that's an improvement. Not too many short deliveries from him, just the one and over a go. And now we've seen the first change. No swing for Bolt. First change to Ferguson, tidy. Now we have the second change.
Colin de Grandhomme from the Vauxhall end is into Tammy McBall, who drives a full ball, and it's half stopped in the covers nicely with one hand. There is no run by Ross Taylor. We'll get there.
No, that's fine.
You've got some big numbers going on here on these shirts. 87.
Well, that was a 3.
77. He's a 3.
He's a 3. And it's his 400th game today for ODIs.
De Grandhomme in again, and it goes again straight to Ross Taylor. That extra cover, once more, no run, 56 for him.
So that wasn't bad movement for a man who's had 400 ODIs to his right. It was to his favoured side, a sort of a fall.
Yeah,
but
what an elegant fall, though, wasn't it?
It was elegance.
I mean, we've seen some falls in this. Yesterday we saw Mohammed Shehzad. Now there's an elegant cricketer as de Grandhomme's in, and that's just played with an angled bat, a backward point, but no run.
That was good fielding there too. That's a critical position for cricketers and for bowlers too. Just angling it across the left-hander. Got to get it out that side. And if you're just a tad short, you tend to be run down. That's Mitchell Santner there. Rangy sort of left-hander. But he went to his right and did it.
He's in a bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
As de Grandhomme is into Taman works this out to deep mid-wicket. But just a single. Now, Santner at backward point. Often you'll find in one-day internationals that person lurks a bit close to the edge of the fielding circle, but he's just that little bit tighter.
Well, you see, that's the angles. You stop your angles then getting too wide that you actually can't make them. And that's that critical kind of speed and then the dive. The dive's really important from that. I mean, that's Jonty Rhodes territory, isn't it? It's Collingwood territory. It's all those, it's Chris Harris in New Zealand. Some people back home will remember how good he was in the park. And that's a very important place in the field.
Many, many years ago, that had been Jack Hobbs' territory as well on this very ground.
Right.
That was where he liked to field. Flicked into the onside by Shakib Al-Hassan for another single. It thinks about a second. He's not there. And the score advances to 58 for 1. Yes, I was thinking about Mohammed Shehzad yesterday because we had a lovely time watching him for Afghanistan.
Yeah, the Merry Lord of Misrule.
That's right. The Merry Lord of Misrule. I like that.
He is.
And, do you know what? He reminded me of
fun to watch.
Terrific fun, but it came to me in an image on the train on the way home as de Grandhomme is into Tamim, who he manages to get this down to third man, waits for the ball, it's a little closer to him, angles the bat, picks up another single, 59 for 1. You know that picture, is at the end of the over? It is the end of the over. 13 got Tamim 24, Shakib has 10, 13 overs, 59 for 1. Picture of Winnie the Pooh trying to reach a balloon, with a little string attached. And that was basically Mohammed Shehzad trying to reach the balls as they were being flung over his head. You remember the first couple of overs? Poor thing. He was forever leaping up for these balloons and then sort of landing in a giant pot of honey.
And then down on the ground.
Down.
He was. He's terrific to watch.
He is.
I mean, it's difficult to describe him because you end up describing someone on the village green, and he's not. He's better than that.
Yes,
a lot better than that. And he's a fantastic little opener. He's exciting to watch as well. Right-hander, sorry. And he's not that keen on locomotion, is he? He just works in a little arc around the stumps.
And he's very effective.
And he tells the fielders. You make sure you throw it to me.
He's got super hands. I mean, the ball was played. He affected a terrific run out yesterday. Lockie Ferguson is in for the Pavilion. Bowls a bouncer. And that's going to be signalled as a wide. I don't know whether that's for lateral direction. It did go rather leg-sidey. Still long.
First extra of the day. And as you remember, as we watched that game yesterday, there were 52 extras over the course of the day.
There were 17 in the first 5 overs, I believe. We were scrabbling around trying to find out if that was a record for the first 5 overs.
Phil would be on that, wouldn't he? Phil knows those.
Oh,
things.
yeah. Well, I set him that task, and I never got the answer. Lockie Ferguson's in again for the pavilion end. And there's another short ball. I'm going to give the batsman a benefit of the doubt. Tammy McBell played inside the line there. Now, you're listening to us on Five Live Sports Extra, but shortly, I don't know exactly when, you will be going back to the match between South Africa and India. South Africa's poor World Cup continues. They've limped to 227 for 9 against India. The spinners were making merry hay there. So, well, South Africa got 2 spinners of their own, in Tamsi and Imran Tahir. So, we shall see.
And Dumini, is Dumini not playing?
Dumini as well. Oh, no, this has got high up in the air. It's going to be taken at mid-on. It is. Short ball banged in. Tammy McBell looked to pull it over mid-wicket. And it's come onto him too quickly. And the ball has looped in a gentle parabola, no more than 15 yards away from the batsman, and has nestled safely into the hands of a New Zealand fielder. And that was Trent Bolt.
Yeah.
Trent Bolt standing at, when he was at mid-wicket, by the time he took it, it sort of come to a kind of straightish, shortish mid-on. And that's the second wicket gone down, Bangladesh 60 for 2.
Yeah, he's just asked himself to do too much, Tammy McBell. It's a very important wicket because he looked serious today. He wanted to bat for a long time. Has been taking his 24 off 38 balls. Ferguson has got a nice line outside his off stump and he's tried to fetch that across. Shortish, just around about sort of chest high, and he's tried to hit it over into vacant areas towards the sort of the Archbishop Tennyson school over there. But he's just got a top edge and it's hit quite high on the bat as well. Angled away, trying to fetch it across, and it's got a top edge and it's just arced up very gently, and he's just closed his eyes as Trent Bolt has just completed a nice, and Trent Bolt's mother could have caught that.
Well, I dare say Trent Bolt's mother could catch many tricks.
Oh,
I heard she's a terrific fielder.
Yeah.
You can listen to both these games in full, online and via the app. And if you want to see that catch, and you want to see the lovely, delicious smirk that teased across Trent Bolt's rather tiny mouth when he took the ball, he was smiling before it nestled in his hands, wasn't he? You can do that via the website or via the Sport app. So, Bangladesh have lost both openers. They're 60 for 2 for long.
Yeah, Lockie Ferguson's 50th ODI wicket.
Oh, love it. We love a milestone, don't we?
We do.
We do. There's a lot of them out today. We've got a 200th game, we've got a 400th game, we've got a 50th wicket. But crucially, that's Bangladesh's both openers back of the hutch. That said, I think it was a very similar score they were on when they lost both openers against South Africa, and the 2 wise old heads of Bangladesh's middle order are together in the diminutive Mushfiqur Rahim. People say diminutive, let's just say he's quite short. The short Mushfiqur Rahim. You could probably fit 2 Mushfiqur Rahims in a Mohammad Shahzad, I would say, and Shakib Al Hassan at the other end. As Lockie Ferguson is in full on the pads, worked at the onside. They think of a single, but in the end, Mushfiqur decides against send Shakib back. Not a fan of Lockie Ferguson's moustache.
Okay.
Yours, I am a fan of. It's
That's
nicely
only because you're
contrasted.
confronting me at the moment.
No, it's because
you can't.
it's because you've got a contrast in colour between it and
Yes.
your face.
Oh, you mean it's a white moustache? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I am saying that, but I mean, you've said that. You've said that, not me.
Well, what are you doing at the moment? Was there something going on?
I had to get up early. I
okay.
just failed in my in my obligations. As the next ball is played to backward point, foolish delivery, picked up, and there is no run. Whereas the problem with Ferguson's is that it merges somewhat into his face, but not entirely. So it gives the impression of there being something there, but it's indistinct. It's sly, is what it is, Jeremy Coney. It's a sly tash. Whereas yours is a bold and
courageous.
It's
a courageous move.
Yeah,
generally.
Well, you've had it for about 40 years, haven't you?
Well, I had a little break.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yes.
But you couldn't resist getting it back. Down the leg side, that's going to run away. Very, very fine. Is it going to be stopped? It is. Very neatly stopped by Henry. Fine leg. It did go fine, and the umpire's going to signal leg byes. That's probably what took a little bit of the pace off it. Good diving, one-handed stop. Prevented the boundary in concert with Colin de Grandon, the aptly named Colin de Grandon.
Yeah, it came off the rump, actually.
Yeah.
Came off the rump of the batsman, and Ferguson's just got to reprogram himself. There's a leg gully in now.
Ooh, a bouncer from Ferguson. And you don't have to get it up very high to get it over the head of Mushfiqur Rahim, but he had to duck. It's gone through to the keeper. End of the over. 14 gone. 62 for 2. Mushfiqur yet to score. Shakib Al Hassan has 10. Off the top of your head, I could find out by looking at my phone, Phil Long. Can you recall when Bangladesh lost their second wicket against South Africa? Because it feels... Actually, don't worry about it. I'm on it. I'm there. And it was at 75.
60 here.
142-run partnership then ensued between these two players, which came at around about a run a ball on that occasion.
Well, it was the usual suspects, wasn't it, who scored the runs in that match against South Africa. Shumar Shaka is an aggressive left-handed opening bat. Well, he's been dismissed today for 25. I think he got 40 or 50, didn't he, in that match?
Yeah, he did. De Grandhomme standing up to the wicket, the keeper. Latham, and that's gone through to him. There's no run. This is an intriguing move. I like it when keepers stand up.
So do I.
Big
because
fan.
not only do you put pressure on the batsman to stay in your crease, in other words, you can't charge him with impunity, but at the same time, if you get a little edge onto the pad, then the keeper's round from behind the stumps and he's mopping things up and tidying things.
De Grandhomme again, driven back to him. He gets a little hand on there. It just gently caresses the base of the stumps at the non-striker's
so it stops leg buys within that kind of compass of maybe 5 metres around the stumps and just a nice easy run. No, he's there and you're saving that and tidying things up. So it's, you know, it's hoovering. It's a bit of housekeeping going on from the keeper.
Is he a voluble keeper?
I wouldn't have thought so.
No. De Grandhomme on the Vauxhall end. Also late forge is pushed up to long on by Shakib Al Hassan. Henry tidies up. He'll pick up one more, 63 for 2. He's not one of... Because so many keepers are noisy, aren't they?
Well, they just talk.
They do.
Talk and talk.
It's hard for us really to say, though, isn't it? Given what we do for a living. But yeah.
True. But we don't wear gloves like that.
No.
And we don't
get right
We don't
up.
have batsmen just there talking about
them
and their parentage and the cousins.
Yeah.
And how they're batting and how they're playing. No.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of it about.
It seems to have become part of the game. I'm not sure whether it should be part of the game.
Oh, now De Grandhomme, wicketkeeper's back. Now, big appeal for Albie He's left that alone. Goodness me. Now, the natural shape for De Grandhomme looked of that ball to be going slightly away, so he's now walked away from the appeal. Kane Williamson walked towards him, as if to say, do you want to? Because when you see somebody leave a ball and it thuds into the pad, and he didn't get a big stride and he's not a tall man, you think that's dangerous, but De Grandhomme's shape is away. So
missing off stump.
I think De Grandhomme had decided that, hadn't he?
Coming back a little, and that's probably why.
In again, forward in defence comes Mushfiqur, pushes square of the wicket in the offside, there's no run.
But this surface is, again, it's sticking in the pitch just a little bit longer, so you have to watch that your bat doesn't get out too far in front of you, because sometimes you lose control of the stroke and you can hit a catch to backward point, you could go to cover, it could go straight back to the bowler, so you're always in with a chance with a slower ball, whether you're pushing at it. So you've got to be careful with that.
It was a firm appeal initially as De Grandhomme's in to complete the over, and that's played an angled bat, a shorter ball, down to third man for a single. Mushfiqur is so short that actually a lot of balls that aren't short look short to him because they bounce up relatively high. He's a very good player against the short balls, he would need to be. Finishes the over with that single, 64 for 2. Just 4 runs have come, just 2 off the bat in the last 2 overs to go with that wicket.
Athar Ali Khan is coming in. He's looking resplendent as he always does in a nice blue suit. Any rings on today, Athar Ali? Look at them. Beauties. All over the fingers, folks.
Best hair in cricket. I could say that because Ravi's isn't here.
15 for 1 off the last 5 overs for New Zealand, pulling it back a little bit, keeping the pressure on.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to take the credit for that. 15 to 1 for the 5 overs that I was on, says Jeremy Coney as he leaves. Athar Ali Khan will join us. Lucky Ferguson is in. A full ball worked into the onside by Mushfiqur Rahim. They come through for a single. It's backed up as the throw comes in. 65 for 1. We welcome Athar. Delighted to see you. Last time I saw you, you were bearing a wearing a big grin on your face because Bangladesh had righteously beaten South Africa. A tougher ask today. Do you think New Zealand have been not given much away in these first 15 overs, have they?
I think they're up against a team which has got a really good bowling attack. They've shown the kind of discipline. I mean, hardly last 5 or 6 overs, hardly any boundaries have come. That's the reason why we saw a couple of wickets going.
Nothing loose at all, is there? As Ferguson is into left-handed Shakib, who covers up in defence to a shortish ball. And that's into the offside. A number of fielders converge on it. No run.
Yeah, because even if you look at the conditions, we all thought that the ball is going to move around a bit. And I thought perhaps the decision from Kane Williams to bowl first may not be the ideal decision. Perhaps because of the fact that pitch is really very good for batting. But they've done well so far. They picked up a couple of wickets and the runs have not really gone in the pace that Bangladesh would have liked to.
They're given no width as well, they Atto, as Ferguson is in. And that's again a straight ball, slightly veering onto the hips of Shakib, down to the long leg for a single. De Grandon does the fielding, one more for the total, 66 for 2. We will continue this match online and via the BBC Sport app, but we'll hand over now to Sports Extra listeners for India against South Africa. Michael Vaughan is with Isha Guha.
A blanket of white up above us, and it covers the ground here at the Hampshire Bowl. South Africa then winning the toss in match 8 of this ICC Men's Cricket World Cup and electing to bat first. They were in a lot of trouble, lost a lot of wickets throughout their innings, but a partnership of 66 have helped them up to 227 for 9. Given the last few years, that probably isn't enough, but you just never know. It's a fresh pitch here at the Hampshire Bowl, and there was a little bit of turn on offer. Tabraiz Shamsi and Imran Tahir feature for South Africa. Imran Tahir taking the most wickets for the South Africans since the last World Cup. See him bowling now on one of the side wickets. He's hitting that mark. There's a little dot that has been placed down for him to try and hit, and Tabraiz Shamsi as well from the Hilton Road end is just going through his warm-up as well. A few bowl throughs as the rest of the players are behind them in front of the pavilion in their bright green shirts and dark green trousers. Going through a fielding drill as we speak. Faf du Plessis misses the ball and tries to hit the stump and the peg in the ground with the second throw. But that atmosphere so electric throughout the whole of that first innings. All of them pretty much cheering for India. And as a score, Michael, India will feel confident, obviously, but is it just one of those scores that can be sometimes a bit tricky to chase?
Yeah, it can be. I mean, South Africa will have to have India 20 for 2, you would feel. I feel that Rabada will have to do what Bumrah did, bowl with the same kind of skill and pace. You'd expect India to be able to chase down this kind of total with the quality, in the World Cup. They've scrambled their way to 227 with some decent lower order play. You sense that India should be able to get themselves in a position to start thinking about net run rate. When you're in these kind of games, particularly in a World Cup that's going to be tight, those top 4 spots. I know it's only the first game for India, but if you can get yourself in a position to finish the game and finishing it quickly, I would think India will try and do that. But South Africa have just got to get a couple of early wickets. Faf du Plessis got them in a huddle there and they're tight, all tight. They're locked in their arms, and he'll be just saying, we've got nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose here. We've just got to go for it. And he's going to have to be very clever in the way that he sets his fields, because he's not going to restrict the runs. He's going to have to get 10 wickets to win the game.
The huddle.
Live Sports Extra. More live sport, pure live sport. This is 5 Live Sports Extra.
be opening the bowling as he did against England in the very first match of this ICC Men's World Cup. 227 on the board then for South Africa, and they're up against two experienced openers and the two most successful in terms of partnerships since the last World Cup, averaging 43 Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma, 850s and 700s to their name, Michael. But do you like this move, Imran Tahir, opening the bowling?
I didn't expect this against India. Dhawan in particular, and Rohit Sharma are good players of spin, but will the gamble pay off for Faf du Plessis? He needs early wickets.
Shikhar Dhawan on strike. Tahir bowls right arm over the wicket. Dhawan clips to mid-wicket, no run. So he's got a slip in play. A man at backward point, cover, extra, mid-off, long on, deep square. Tahir bowls, Dhawan drives. Doesn't beat a diving Tahir to his right, who parries it on to extra cover coming in. No run. There is a mid-wicket and a short fine.
Yeah, one thing's for sure is that I don't think Shikhar Dhawan or Rohit Sharma would have expected this. Pretty sure it'll be Rabada from the far end.
The left-handed Dhawan crouches down, back in his crease, cuts, finds the fielder at cover, who misfields. It goes through his hands, Pekwayo having to chase after it. And that is the first run for India, but not a great start in terms of fielding.
You've not got enough runs, South Africa, to be able to fumble straight forward, one straight to you at cover point, not really hit with any power. It comes off the bottom of Shikhar Dhawan's bat. Took his eyes off the ball. It
was a classic long barrier, and it hits him on
Didn't
his
work,
foot,
did it?
goes through.
long barrier, had a hole in it.
Yeah, managed to pierce the gap. As Tahir now just surveys his field. There is a man at deep square and a long on for Rohit Sharma as well. Everyone else inside the circle is Tahir bowls. Sharma plays it straight down to long on, off the front foot, beats the fielder at mid-wicket, and he's off the mark, so he's got 1-2 for no loss, India.
Yeah, Imran Tahir's playing in the IPL, so these Indian players will have seen plenty of Imran Tahir.
Had a very successful IPL. As he now comes in, bowls, Dhawan drives, finds extra cover, no run. He picked up a lot of wickets in Chennai, Michael. It's your team, isn't it? The Chennai Super Kings?
No, I swap around a bit.
Oh, do you?
Mumbai
Okay,
now.
you bounce around. Dhawan drives this time, again finds a fielder, but it's another misfield. And Faf du Plessis at mid-off comes in to clean up as they pick up another single at the end of that over. So 3 for no loss after that first over. Dhawan on 2 and Rohit on 1.
Yeah, Rassi listened with that fumble. It's not a good start in the field for South Africa. They've got to be electric. They've got to stop everything. Already they've given India 2 runs. You have to take all the chances. They're going to probably have to produce a couple of half chances as well. Who's your team in the IPL, Ish? I mean,
Kolkata, without question. They were poor this year, I know. Bengali heritage.
Yes, well, you've got Dre Russ, haven't you? He gives it a good old
Yeah,
crack.
need him to stay fit in this tournament if we're going to see some electric stuff.
Good young player, Shubman Gill. I think we may be seeing Shubman Gill entering this Indian one-day team after the World Cup. I think he's potentially the next star.
Where does he come in?
Well, it depends on what happens at the top, but I would think number 4.
You
know.
So KL Rahul, watch out.
Depends on Shikhar Dhawan as well. Maybe he could open.
Rabada bowls outside the off stump. Dhawan, I think he does look to play that. He doesn't pull away, and so it's a miss at first delivery.
I have to say, Isha, when South Africa played England, I was really surprised. It was a great tactic. Imran Tahir took the first over to Tahir and Rabada. To nullify England, you need to get early wickets, so surely you've got to put at least what you would think is your best seamer. So this is a good move by Faf du Plessis. I know Nagidi's injured, but this is better.
Rabada bowls. Dhawan, top edge. He goes up in the air over JP Duminy at point. It falls safely. And just from that end, we saw a couple from Hardik Pandya just rise up off the surface. And a real opportunity there. There was nothing that South Africa could do. Shikhar Dhawan catches it high on the bat. And it pops up and over JP. So they end up getting a single, and the score moves to 4 for no loss. But
Yeah, fortunate there, isn't he?
very fortunate.
JP Duminy is really kind of getting low and close to that gully line. If he'd have stayed just a little bit further back, it should have bounced.
2 slips in for Rohit Sharma as Rabada bowls. Sharma, solid in defence, back to the bowler, no run. And yeah, this is a nice little matchup, Kagiso Rabada. I have a feeling he's got Rohit Sharma out a few times, Andy. Is he now?
That's woken Andy up. He's just having a nod. Afternoon, Andy.
He's ready to go now. As Kagiso Rabada gets to the top of his mark, takes the ball into his left hand, and now sets off, running towards us. Rabada bowls. Short. Rohit Sharma catches on the bat, and it's dropped. He was in the air, second slip, running forwards to take the catch. He had to dive forwards. It should have been taken, I think, Michael. Faf du Plessis with the dive. And it falls onto the floor. He looked to pull that ball, Rohit Sharma, and it caught almost the back of the bat.
He's onto him too quickly. He's on the front foot trying to play the pull shot. Faf du Plessis running forward from second slip. I wonder if he's got a problem with that hand. We saw him get hit while he was batting. Just oohing and ahhing about that left hand, but generally expect Faf du Plessis to get there and take those kind of chances.
Sharma misses one outside the off stump, and Kagiso Rabada, well, this is brilliant stuff. This is the way you want to start when you've got a low total. He has looked dangerous and potent, having a little fend at that one, Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, Faf du Plessis just called for some tape. This is outstanding from Rabada. Very similar to Bumrah. Same pace, 89 miles an hour, just getting a little bit of nibble. Both these players like to get on the front foot, so that's why those short balls are becoming a threat. Not giving themselves any kind of time to go back, they're just trying to play it off the front foot. He's sharp.
Sharma on the front foot, pushing to the offside. JP Duminy diving to his right to collect it. No run is taken, so good stuff here from Kagiso Rabada. At the end of that over, it's 2 overs done, 4 for no loss.
Yeah, Rabada has dismissed Rohit Sharma 4 times in 12 innings for 102 runs. So, yeah, Rohit's averaging 25 against him.
Yeah, tentative start for the two openers, and we're going to have a change from the Hilton Road end almost immediately. Imran Tahir on in that one over, and it'll be Chris Morris, the tall South African, will come into the attack.
Well, it's good this because I think Faf du Plessis has seen from that first over from Rabada that the new ball, the hardness of it from this pitch, it might just be a little bit of extra bounce that you can find, a bit of movement. We've seen that with the Indians with the ball in hand. He's just getting his fingertips up there. The physio's out there dealing with Faf du Plessis' hand. But Ken Morris, he's arrived with the bat. It's a frustration for South Africa. Morris, he doesn't arrive too often. Very inconsistent, but today he's on it with the bat in hand, and generally when all-rounders get a few runs, it just gives them a lift. Got the ability to bowl sharp.
Some useful runs there from Chris Morris and Kagiso Rabada at the end of that first innings. They were looking down and out. Partnership worth 66 to help them up to 227. He's at the top of his run then, Chris Morris. Just a few arm stretches before facing up to Shikhar Dhawan, who's got 2 slips. He runs away from us now. Past the umpire, Morris bowls. Dhawan pushes onto the front foot. He comes through for a single. It was close. Extra cover. Rossi van der Dissen diving forwards to collect it and throw it in. In fact, it was David Miller. But they come through comfortably for that one.
Yes, he's good from Shikhar Dhawan. He just hits and goes. He's got a partner that knows exactly what he's about. They trust each other. Would have just made it. And when you get a partnership like this pair that have played so much together, when you get that combination and that trust in each other, it's very, very difficult to stop those singles.
Morris approaches the crease. Sharma on the back foot defending. So 2 slips for Rohit Sharma as well. Shikhar Dhawan, well, he enjoys ICC tournaments. He's been the leading run scorer for India in the last 3. And
It's just, will he play another, do you think? That's why I look at someone like Shubman Gill. He's wonderful talent. He will find his way into this Indian team. It's obviously how you fit him in, but more years will Shikhar Dhawan play for.
Morris bowls. Sharma, another fend outside the off stump, and it goes through to the keeper. So not finding the middle of the bat here, Rohit Sharma.
Well, whatever Faf du Plessis said to them in the huddle, he's got them on it.
It's a beauty.
Yeah, they've just got to get it on it in the field. drop catch, a couple of easy singles for India. There's just enough movement out there. Ball's going through nicely to Quinton de Kock. Had a lot of cricket over the last couple of weeks, India. Might just so they forget the Indian batsman just a little bit out of movement.
Sharma edges, it goes high up in the air again. How much luck here in the first few overs. It plops safely just over the head of JP Duminy once more. He needs to be a little bit taller, Michael.
He needs to grow.
They come through for one. Rohit Sharma off strike, and the score moves to 6 for no loss.
Can you just look at where Rohit Sharma's playing that back foot defence? It's from the crease line. He's giving himself no depth whatsoever. Just a bit of extra bounce, steep. It's looped. Metre over JP Duminy at backward point. Second time that's happened.
Catches the top corner of the bat. Morris steaming in now, but pulls out of his run-up. And signals to the crowd. He reaches for the stumps as Rohit Sharma has to stretch to get back in. And boos go up all around. They reverberate around this ground.
Well, he slipped. You know, he wasn't going for a mankad. He slipped in his delivery stride and he stopped the release of the ball out the hand. I think the crowd feel that he's gone for a mankad. He hasn't.
Jovial as ever, Chris Morris, past the umpire now, bowls pulled by Shikhar Dhawan out to the deep square boundary. There is no one out there. Fine leg, can't catch it, and it will trickle into the rope. So picks up 4. Shikhar Dhawan moves to 8, 10 for no loss inside the third.
Yeah, good shot. Not quite the steep bounce and the height of the bounce from the balls that we've seen trouble the Indian pair. Just mid-range, about the waist height. Just swivels on it, Shikhar Dhawan. Fast outfield. Nowhere near the middle of the bat. It came off the top of the bat. Enough to go to the boundary for 4.
Plenty of Indian flags waving in the distance as Morris bowls. Dhawan defends to point. No run. At the end of 3 overs, it's 10 for no loss. But certainly been some opportunities for South Africa in this first 3.
They've bowled nicely. Just need that element of luck. Got to get Virat Kohli out there early while these 2 new white balls are hard. And get to Virat early with Rabada with a few overs left in the tank in his first spell. You know, if they keep bowling like they are, they could easily have India 30 for 3. They've got to take the chances.
Well, Virat Kohli's got a history in tournaments of scoring 100 in his first game. He's a man for a chase, isn't he, Vaughan? We've seen that on many occasions as Rabada is now in past the umpire. Sharma leaves outside the off stump. A rising delivery off a good length from Rabada. Just
He's the best, isn't he?
He
Best
is.
chaser ever.
Isn't he averaging like 90 in chases, Andy? How many hundreds has he scored in a chase as well? I've got a feeling it's over 20.
25.
25.
And, only Sachin has scored more than 12, other than Kohli. Sachin has 17. Kohli 25, no one else more than 12.
Incredible. Rabada to Sharma, defending off a back foot, sets off for a run, but quickly goes back into his crease, no run.
Are you into your Love Island dish?
Gotta say, Michael, I've never watched it. Never.
But Andy's watched it, haven't you?
Should I be ashamed to say that?
Well, I'm not sure if the word shame is the word, but I'm surprised he should kind of circles you mix in that you're not watching Love Island.
And what kind of circles are they?
Those kind of circles.
No, I can't say I've ever watched it. As Rabada bowls, Sharma looking to play onto the leg side, it catches him on the top of his pad and falls out in front of him. No run.
Yeah, it's a strange old show, isn't it?
I've seen you tweet about it, so you must be
I've got
an avid
daughters
follower.
who watch it, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's your daughters. Okay.
Yeah. But I must admit, I get into it. You want to know what's happening every night. Not a lot. Well, they do a bit of things.
Just looking at the replay, that was mightily close.
Yeah, it was. As we talk about Love Island.
Rohit Sharma to something that's probably very treasured to him. There's Sharma. Again, it beats the edge through to the keeper. And this time, not as much bounce because he kind of has to crouch down, Sharma. But good areas that Rabada's bowling, just outside that off stump and getting the ball talking.
Yeah, 90 miles an hour. He looks rusty, Rohit Sharma. It's just enough there for South Africa. They've got an opportunity here. They've got to strike in the next couple of overs. Get them one down. Get Virat out there.
Bat high from Rohit Sharma. Rabada bowls. Short, back of a lengthy drives to wide of mid-off for a single. And comes through. Moves to 3, 11 for no loss. Again, didn't look like a comfortable shot from him. He wasn't timing it. It was almost like it came back into him and he had to hack down at the last second. So just one run from this over from Rabada. Shikhar Dhawan scans the leg side field. There's only a fine leg, a mid-wicket and mid-on as he stands quite open. Rabada bowling right arm over, bowls, and his bat's broken. Shikhar Dhawan looking to drive. I thought it was the stumps everywhere at one stage, but there were no lights. He looks to play down to long on, but he chips the bottom of his bat. Shikhar Dhawan at the end of that over. It's 4 overs done, 11 for no loss. He's now looking at the edge of it. It was a full delivery.
It's the bottom right-hand corner of the bat. There'll be so many listening, knowing the feeling, playing on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Someone tries to bowl the York, or you try and club one into the field. Hits the bottom right corner and a big chunk comes off. Shikhar Dhawan, I'm sure he's got a few.
About 10?
Yeah, I saw the picture of Jofra Archer before the first game. England's number 8, he's got 6 waiting to go in the dressing room.
Well, they all do now, don't they? Borny, how many did you used to carry out?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 generally. Chris Neill's the wife of Phil Neil, the manager of the England team. Phil Neil used to tell us off excess baggage, so they couldn't take too many.
So just the one helmet, the 4 bats, 2 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, it's funny that you only take 1 helmet.
Yeah.
You obviously don't want to think that you're going to get hit too often, but if you do get hit, you generally need a new helmet, and that's always the real uncomfortable part of batting. If you have to change your helmet and you have to put someone's lid on it never feels the same. It's always an awkwardness.
Well, 2 bats were run out to Shikhar Dhawan. He's picked one that he likes, and he's now at the non-striker's end as Chris Morris runs away from us bowls. Rohit Sharma times one this time through between cover and point. But he'll only get a couple for it as the throw comes in. He moves to 5, 13 for no loss. A sort of good length delivery outside the off stump, just opens the face, Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too full that time from Chris Morris. Just got to hit the pitch as hard as he can on the full of length. That was a little bit floaty.
The spider cam drops down like Spider-Man, hovering above the scene.
Spider-Man fan,
Big Spider-Man. But there was only one Spider-Man that was good. Yeah.
Which one?
I've forgotten his name. Chris Morris bowls.
He was that good.
Outside the off stump, a bit shorter over
Legendary
goes
Spider-Man.
through to the keeper. What was his name? Not Tobey Maguire, the other one.
Andy,
Who was the one
Andy,
after
look at
him?
his stats.
Oh, Andy, you know. Do you know?
Spider-Man stats are outside my pay grade.
Batman and Robin.
Why do you
like
ask? I'm trying to understand where
Well,
you're
I'm just
trying
like,
to go with
you
this.
mentioned Spider-Man. I thought you don't like Love Island, but you like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's Marvel Comics, isn't it? Spider-Man?
Yeah, I think it
Batman
might be.
Robin.
Graham Swan's your man for those kind of things. He's full of all that kind of information.
Well, he was Spider-Man, wasn't he? At one stage, as Morris bowls,
I think he
Sharma
was.
defends. He
Strictly
was
he
on
was,
Strictly, he
I
was
think you're right.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I think that was his opening scene, wasn't it? He dipped down. I've forgotten what happened in the dance, but I feel like he came down. He was like on a cable, and he came down into the middle of the stage. Anyway, we'll have to get.
I had to do that. I did
Tell us
the
what
Christmas
happened.
special show. I had to come down on.
Oh yeah,
on
weren't you Robin Hood?
Well, I was going to be Peter Pan, but I think they thought they'd make me look
They
an
got
idiot.
the outfit mixed up as Morris bowls. Sharma on the back foot defending to mid on. So
Had a dog.
did you wear tights?
Yes, I had tights.
How was that?
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, just for one day. Yeah, I had a dog. Nice big dog in the act. Best part about the dance, the dog. More in sync with the music than I was.
So you actually had a live dog that was like choreographed within your
Yeah. There was
dance.
a dog at the start, yeah, for an 8 count.
Wow. There you go.
I think that's what they were saying.
There's Morris bowls Sharma on the back foot, driving to extra cover, no run.
That's the better length. That's the length to talk about, just that in-between length. But you've got to hit the pitch hard. The pace has got to be up. If you float it up at 80, I don't think you get anything out of this surface. It's just a bit there if you bowl with a bit of gas. 85 plus. Just whack that pitch and just try and get a bit of bounce, a bit of seam movement. 13 for naught, so no damage for India yet. South Africa desperate for that opening wicket. 2 slips. Ready for the outside edge. JP Tubin, is he staying just up a little bit further back
Just
to that
hanging
looper?
back, yeah, hanging back a little bit more. There's Morris, arms pumping, bowls, Sharma, punches off the back foot to mid-off, no
We're
run.
talking of a good dancer. Graham
At the
Smith here.
end of 5 overs, it's 13 for no loss. Graham Smith will come in for Michael Vaughan. A few words from you, Graham, on this start for South Africa, and then it'll be Prakash Watkanka.
Yeah, good start with the ball for South Africa. Just, I guess, the only thing they would have loved is a couple numbers in the wicket column. Intensity from Rabada's been there. I was surprised that they started with Tahir, considering the way the surface played with the new ball to start today. And du Plessis changed that quickly.
Absolutely, and that early opportunity. Bowls lovely. He's got him outside the off stump. Yes, he's nicked him off. So Graham Smith arrives here, wanted something in the wickets column, and it's there, Graham. Shikhar Dhawan caught behind off the bowling of Rabada. It's 13 for 1.
Well, he's looked threatening, hasn't he? He's created a few opportunities that haven't gone to hand or just clipped the hand, and now that's a cracking delivery, that back of a length. We've seen the extra bounce and nip from the pavilion end.
Just the kind of start that South Africa will wanted. They'll want a couple more here to try and put the Indian batting under pressure. And if they can do that, then, as we said earlier, the middle order for India has been that one area of serious concern. And under pressure, you never know how they will react.
Yeah, absolutely. South Africa need to turn that 227 into a score that feels like 270, 280 with a couple of wickets on it, building pressure at the same time. But you think 3, maybe 4 up front would really help that cause.
And now we'll see how Rabada is going to bowl at Virat Kohli. Remember that little comment, a little sort of needle, if you will. Rabada saying he's immature, he gets angry very quickly. And Kohli asked that question in the presser yesterday, saying he can sort that out with me man to man. And that's exactly where we are right now. Virat Kohli coming in to take strike to Rabada, having picked up the wicket off Shikhar Dhawan.
Oh, it's man to man now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
South Africa desperately needs something special on their big man, Kagiso Rabada, up against the world's best player, Virat Kohli.
And this is great captaincy by Faf du Plessis. He realizes he's got to get wickets. 3 slips in place. There's a man at backward point. Extra cover. Mid-on, mid-wicket. Third man and fine leg. Virat Kohli surveys the field as Rabada gets ready at the pavilion end to come into bowl. This is going to be an exciting contest. 13 for 1. In is Rabada. Races up. Bowls first ball. Good afternoon, Mr. Kohli. Nice bumper. Kohli gets underneath it.
Yeah, cracking start, isn't it? You can just feel the intensity. Everyone on the edge of their seats. Rabada v Kohli. The build-up and the moments are here. Rabada needing to do something special for his team. He knows this is all here on the line. If he can knock over Virat Kohli straight away, he's gone bumper up front, first ball.
Yes, and the impact of if something like that were to happen on the Indian dressing room will be cataclysmic. Here's Rabada looking for the Yorker over pitches, and Kohli, one of those rare occasions where he couldn't sort of maneuver that full toss through the onside, doesn't get a run to mid-on. 13 for 1, it stays.
Yeah, bouncer Yorker looking for wickets, just didn't get it right. It ended up being a full toss, which Kohli missed out on. Sometimes a really fast full toss early on in the innings just catches you a touch by surprise, because you're looking for those areas in general where bowlers top of off stump area, that good length.
Here's Rabada in again, bowls to Kohli, and Kohli drives, but only as far as mid-on. He won't get a run. Getting onto the front foot there, Virat Kohli. What a fine exponent of the game this man has been. Captaincy has sat well with him, isn't it, Cram? He's done very well after becoming captain in all formats. There was a bit of bit of a concern really about his temperament as a captain. I think he's maturing as most do in that role. 13 for 1, the 6th over in progress. Here's Rabada into Kohli. And Kohli comes forward, pushes it away on the offside. Diving stop limits the scoring to just a single. That's
a very competitive man, Virat Kohli. Loves the contest. It's one of his real attributes.
Yes, he's that new breed of Indian cricketers. I remember 2004 under Saurav Ganguly, I think, is where that sort of change in the Indian cricketing fraternity, so to speak, began. Here's Rabada now into Rohit Sharma, looking for another Yorker. Well played by Sharma, right back along the track. Excellent over from Rabada, asking the questions, keeping the pressure and the intensity up, as Graham was just saying, and that's what they need.
Well, they need that. The intensity certainly being there. It's just more rewards in that wicket column. Morris backing up Rabada well at the moment. He's 2 overs for 8. Can he add to the wicket tally? It can't just be Rabada.
Yes, we often talk about batting partnerships, but the greatest ones in cricket often are bowling partnerships, isn't it? And right now, South Africa sorely missing Dale Steyn and, of course, Ngidi. But they've got to make do with what they have. And cometh the hour, they say, cometh the men. And South Africa have an opportunity here to really show what they're made of.
Yeah, 2 slips in a gully. No third man for Morris. Point back.
In goes Morris. Nice looping run up, big long strikes, balls to Kohli. Kohli comes forward, pushes it quietly on the onside. No run.
Yeah, very assured in his defensive play there to Morris. Kohli.